it was a crazy week. A lot of news going on. This is the most dramatic news I think we've heard. Judge rejects call to immediately shut down Alex Jones Infowars in bankruptcy dispute. Uh, a lot going on. There was some chaos, some drama this week. I didn't know. You guys have seen me on Infowars. I've been on a few times. I've hosted for our friend Owen Schroyer. So to help me sort through all of this shenanigans, all this stuff is my dear friend and producer over at Infowars, Infowars Rob. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a blessing, and it's about time you bring me on. Sheesh.
Yeah, what took you
I'm just
so
kidding.
long?
I'm just kidding.
I love the set. You are on the set of Toxic Culture, which is your very own podcast, which people can watch on band.video every Saturday. And you have described your podcast as kind of like a Joe Rogan meets Infowars meets, um, did you say Adult
Robot
Swim?
chicken.
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah, I try to, bring you the news in a different type of aspects. Nowadays, one thing we're really missing here at Infowars is culture, just because it's a really a political news organization. So with us expanding, or we were expanding, and Alex telling everybody to do your own thing, and everybody here is so talented. After having so many conversations with just the guests or the employees here, I was like, you know what, this is a great idea. We need to bring satire back. You know how it is. Every time you come to Infowars, I mean, you host, you kill it because you have a whole comedy
Oh,
um, aspect that comes with it. And that's what we really need to do here is we need to laugh at a lot of these things. We need to make fun of nerds again. And we need, what I'm saying? We all need to get back to the basics of humanity and just really, I think comedy brings people together a lot more. So,
it
my
does.
show is, and my show is just long form podcast, but I throw in, these bits of culture aspects. So you're in the middle of the conversation, you'll get videos that'll just interrupt it and kind of get your attention to kind of keep you in the mix.
That's great. I love that because you can't have too much news. Like my father-in-law watches Fox News just about 24/7, and we always say to him, like,
Or
"Look, it's gonna bum you out." And
yeah,
you just can't, whether it's a reliable source or not, whether if those even exist, you can't
yeah,
just be watching news and consuming politics 24/7. You'll lose it. We have to laugh or else we'll cry, and it's good to just make fun of anything and everything we can. So, Rob, tell me about what happened this week over at Infowars because I've a lot of people on the internet have been talking about this. The feds can shut down Infowars. No, they can't. Alex's bankruptcy case has nothing to do with um, the business and the channel. So, like, just kind of like walk us through what's happening here.
yeah. So basically, our we had kind of not really a board. We had somebody who was set to be in charge during our bankruptcy case, and they're supposed to handle all the money and make sure everything. The reason we went into bankruptcy is because I don't know if a lot of people know they tried to sue Alex for 1.5 billion, and then they tried to sue him for 2.75 trillion dollars. And like that's more than an actual GDP of most countries, not most countries, but of some countries.
Nobody that's like a cartoonish amount of money. Nobody has that much money unless it's like our country and we're giving it to the Ukraine. Then we can find that kind of money.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure, we got money for that all day. They'll print that, but I mean, like
mhm.
Elon Musk doesn't have that much money. He's the richest man in the world. So, we had to go he had to file bankruptcy so that way they can come in and kind of oversee what we actually make here. And everything Alex has said has been true this entire time. We everything that we make, he throws back into the organization. That way we can expand. So the guy who was running all that tried to make it seem like Alex was incompetent and couldn't run his own company. So
How did he
the
do
Alex
that?
so he just filed this court order saying that Alex was incompetent. And this was a couple weeks ago, maybe not a month or two, but this was a little while ago. And, it just the judge kind of saw through that because I mean, we're a successful business. and he literally showed up after on was it Friday after Alex left with another security company, which because he's running our the bankruptcy, our head of security kind of is supposed to report to him. But that doesn't mean that they're gonna do unlawful things. So he was trying to bring in another security company that is going to comply and which would have locked the doors and had us out until the court date. And that was their goal, was to get us
Holy shit.
off the air up until the 14th, because there is like, I don't know if you watched the show on Saturday, but Alex has some evidence of the corruption that's going on. He played a little bit of it, and he has some other stuff, in the chamber. So they tried to do that on Friday night. It didn't work. So Saturday, they tried another tactic, and then even till all the
So
way
Fri
till
so
today.
Friday, so your bankruptcy handler, which is supposed to kind of work with your normal security team, brings in another security team that you don't even know about. So how many guys did the bankruptcy handler try to bring in, or did you see any of this? Like, do you know how many other people he tried
So
to bring in?
yeah, I don't know how many he brought with him, but I just know that our security team was prepared. They got word that there was going to be other guys coming in at night. So when Alex got there that night, it kind of surprised them. They were like, "Hey, yeah, what are you doing here? There's supposed to be another team coming in after this." And Alex was like, "Wait, what do you mean another team?" So that's when he kind of got wind of. He started asking questions and got wind of what was going on, and it just wasn't going to happen. And it's not that our security is incompetent or wasn't doing their job or anything. It's just actually they were doing their job because they didn't let it happen, and they're not. None of this stuff that he was trying to do, he can do without a court order. Like, he absolutely
Wow.
needs a court order to do this. So he was just trying to. He really basically overplayed his hand. He was trying to do more than what he was just trying to get away with it, and it didn't work. So then, yeah, and then it goes to Monday. They
So at what point
actually,
do you realize, like, so is it Friday that you guys had to stay there, or was that
yeah,
later in the
Alex stayed
weekend?
here. Yeah, Alex stayed here Friday night, and then we had a show the very next morning. We went live at 10 a.m.
So Alex
And
is
then,
stayed at the studios by himself. He slept there on Friday. Does he have somewhere to sleep? Do you guys? I don't remember
I
seeing you
mean,
guys having a shower anywhere. I mean, it's all men that work
yeah,
there. It's not like
we
you
have
gotta
a
smell
shower on
good.
the other side for
Oh,
sure, but
that's
no, we
not
don't like
smell good
have
for
comfy
anyone,
beds.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
we there's no comfy beds. He stayed here Friday. We had the all day show all day Saturday, and we recorded for Toxic Culture at night. And we were running till maybe 1 o'clock. And then we got some dinner and came back. And I stayed here Saturday night to make sure, nobody, like, this wasn't going to happen. And so Sunday went off without a hitch. And yeah, it's basically we had a stakeout, and that every day they were waiting for us to leave so they can try to convince security to do something else, I guess. But yeah, that's what they were doing. They were just waiting for us to leave and the
How
building's empty.
it really does sound like they're overplaying their hand. Like, how do they think that's gonna go down? Just wait till everybody leaves and then break in or convince the security guard to, like, let them in? But, I mean, you guys
Yeah,
aren't stupid, and
because
your security team is not are not stupid. Like, you have to be
yeah,
best of the best to work for Infowars because of the nature
absolutely.
of, how everybody wants to, like, get at you. So, I just
Yeah.
don't know what they thought they were gonna be able to do.
No, it doesn't make any sense, and especially, like, with the law being there has to be a court order. I guess they're just used to people complying and people getting scared. Because
Getting
if you think
scared.
about yeah, if you think about, let's just say COVID for instance, how many people complied because they were scared that they had to comply? So it's kind of one of those things. I think they have so much power that people are just gonna do what they say and without any question, especially if he's the guy running everything. So
So Alex stayed there Friday. Were you the only one to stay there on Saturday?
Saturday, I think there might have been a couple, Alex, myself, and, maybe a couple others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is so and what did they think they so let's say they had been successful and they were able to what, like lock the building down or shut operations down for what till what's the court date? Is it June 14th?
14th. Yeah, so, basically, that would've been 2 weeks of nothing coming from Infowars, and that right
No
there would've tanked us kind of
no
itself because
income. Yeah.
yeah, there's no shows going, the radio stations would've dropped us. There who I mean, we might have still sold products, who knows, depending on if yeah, if they lock the doors, then there's no customer service. There's nobody to process the orders, no one to, take calls for our customers. So it could have thrown a big wrench in the whole project for sure.
When I first heard you tell me about this, I was reminded of, same thing during the pandemic, the Atilis gym out in Belmar, New Jersey, and if you
Oh
guys
yeah.
remember, Ian Smith, was one of the owners of the Atilis gym, and, there's another owner, I can't remember his name, but they just wouldn't comply to, like, the bullshit COVID rules that, what was it, Christie was trying to throw down, and they were trying to lock the gym. They remember during COVID, they said gyms were not an essential business, and Ian was like, "No, I beg to differ. Like, if you're healthy, you're less likely to get anything, any type
Yeah.
of disease or sickness, let alone something serious." So he ended up, he stopped charging memberships. He was letting people in for free, like just simply running on donation, and they tried to like, lock the doors. In fact, they did lock the front
Yeah, I
door.
think they did.
He cut it with, like, a bolt cutter a few times, and, like, those guys were just talk about
Yeah.
actual bravery.
Yeah,
They
it's
just wouldn't
patriots
let
right there.
anybody shut them down, and, it was one of the first interviews I did over the pandemic. I just went out there, and I remember I bought, like, a ton of merch because they sell all the merch inside the gym there, and, I was so inspired by them, and it almost sounds like similar type of thing where a lesser person or if somebody was more scared and more kind of like, "Oh, it's just I have to defer to the authorities. I'm sure you guys are right. You must be here for a reason." And unfortunately, we it turns out they're more than likely not going to be right, and you have to push back, and they're probably there for a bullshit reason or just to see what they can get, how far they can go.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's always their play. They're gonna try something out, see how the public reacts to it, and if there's no reaction, like, okay, we can get away with this. But if there's massive pushback, then that's when they kind of draw back and like, okay, let's try this again.
Was there any type of, like, physical altercation between your guys' security and this outside group they tried to bring in?
No, no, everything happened quietly and peacefully. Like one point on Saturday, we had some protesters outside, but I don't even know if they're really
Really?
protesters or people on our
Uh,
side. There was just some random groups showed up, and we weren't sure what they were. It was I know Steve Bannon was wanting Alex to give out the address, and a lot of fans were hitting us up. Hey, how do we come and where's the studio at? We want to come support. Like I
oh,
don't know. It's
man.
kind of it's kind of
Yeah.
weird. I mean, we appreciate the love, but I mean, we're not. There's no point in fighting the feds like that because it's not gonna. There's not gonna be a success story out of that. It's only gonna lead to some more problems. So luckily everything was peaceful the entire time. They didn't really show up when most of the bulk of the crew was here. So they try to do things, in the dark of the night and when no one's around, so that way it kind of causes no less of a commotion.
Is this the first time something like this has happened at the studio?
Yeah, absolutely. It's never we've never gone to this level of I don't uncertainty at the same time of just direct attacks like that. Yeah, it's we've been kind of hacked before, and we deal with little stuff like that, but no one's ever really made a move like the feds did this past weekend before.
And, let me pull back this article up for you guys who didn't know, what this all has to do with. Okay. Da, 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 da. So this article came out just yesterday. A judge on Monday allowed Jones to keep operating for the next 2 weeks while it is decided whether his assets should be liquidated. So it's like, yeah, there was no court order. Even the judge said, you guys could keep going. Um, Both Jones and his company, Free Speech Systems, filed for bankruptcy after he lost two lawsuits. Was ordered to pay 1.5 billion to the relatives. This whole thing just blows my mind. How fucking stupid this is. Like that they actually got it to a point where he owes people money. They sued Jones for calling Sandy Hook a hoax. I don't feel like he actually did though, but I guess they were able to prove that he alluded to it. The
I
families have
mean, were
opposed.
they though? Because they didn't like there was no jury. You know what I
Right.
mean? It was just
Right.
by judge, like, hey, this is what you did, and this is
Yeah.
how much you need to pay.
The families have opposed Jones' reorganization plans. On Sunday, they filed an emergency motion to convert Free Speech Systems bankruptcy reorganization into liquidation, saying Jones has not made progress in showing how he will pay the lawsuit judgments. They will address the motion on the 14th when a decision on whether to liquidate Jones and his company's assets is expected. Like, have you guys talked about like what you
See,
would what you guys would do in like a worst case scenario?
well, and the thing is with that, I mean, all that is lies right there. Just that last article you read, because they're saying that he hasn't made progress. He's settled. He's agreed to settle more than once, and they keep pushing the ball, and that's what it's
Wow.
led to this mess of them now saying he doesn't want to make he hasn't made progress. No, y'all haven't accepted anything because settling is not their goal.
They just want to
Um,
take him out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, we played a compilation today that literally has just the lawyers talking about how that's their goal. Their goal is to shut them down,
Wow.
and they've exposed themselves. And of course, those aren't the clips you're gonna see in the HBO movie that they made a broadcast for, where the judge was actually on the red carpet for.
Oh,
But as far
yeah.
as worst case scenarios, Alex has options. We really don't know what's really gonna happen. We don't know. At the end of the day, Alex has been doing this for going on 30 years now.
Wow.
And I mean, if whatever happens, I would not blame him at all if he wants to take some time. He's kind of said that before. What if I might just take a couple months and, lose 30 to 60 pounds and become jacked and then be back better than ever? Or that at the end of the
Yes, I
day,
would love that.
yeah, and it would no if he does take time off, it's gonna be a different type of Infowars, because who knows, how much of the crew will be able to come back and withstand that type of, time away from work. But at the end of the day, everybody here, that's what I love about this place. Everybody here is so talented that honestly, if we really, really wanted to, I don't see how whatever happens, like if we could just kind of take a day or two, and if he wants to go back live and 2 days later, like we have the talent here to make that happen. So it's at the end of the day, it kind of is depends on the verdict and how Alex is feeling and what he really wants to do and what the actual what his options are. Because I mean, as a boss should, he's not really gonna tell his soldiers what all his options are. As he shouldn't. We're not
Right.
expected that. He's our leader and we follow him into battle. And I feel like it's so funny. This weekend, I kind of feel it was like a 300 moment. That movie 300, where
Yeah.
it's the last stand and Alex is up there like, this is we tonight we dine in hell, like, kind of waiting for them. But, things are I am hoping things will go a lot smoother now that everything's kind of out in the open. Not almost everything. He's got some more evidence. He's withholding, like I said. But I at the end of the day, for me, I feel like Infowars is kind of too big to fail sometimes. It's just kind of unreal to think about the government being able to do that to people. But look what they've done to Julian Assange. Look what they've done to Trump. Look what they've done to Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon, all the January 6 people. I mean, it's kind of par for the course right now for the demise. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be Debbie the Downer, but if they get their way, which they do a lot, I really just kind of hope that we are too big to fail.
You definitely cannot kill the spirit of Infowars. I feel like
No.
now more than ever. I mean, but truly now more than ever, more people I think are awake to what's going on. Even though I feel like so many people are still kind of keeping their head in the sand, it just feels
Yeah.
like uh it's people are more awake than they've ever been, and I think especially after the pandemic, there's a lot of people who are just unwilling to go through that again, and it I think it would get pretty messy if slash when they try to do another a pandemic type thing on us.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think you'll ever get people to stop wanting to seek out the truth and call out corruption. And the deep state is no longer a conspiracy theory like it was, god, even 5 or so years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Even less than that, honestly. I mean, they've had to come out of the shadows and be like, okay, yeah, this stuff is true. But it's good though, but it's good. It's for the greater good. and
Yeah.
it just people aren't buying it anymore. I agree
And
with you.
Alex himself has gone from kind of like a niche character to like really a mascot, like for freedom. Like he's a meme. He's like he's a forever
Yeah.
personality. Oh, Matthew Hammond, thanks for the super chat. It was a default judgment. They claimed that Alex Jones did not turn over all of the discovery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's wild for them to kinda say stuff like that. I mean, it's all just for headlines. It's all for the public perception to try to help, push their narrative. They're really good at it.
Yeah. And you guys do have such a talented crew there. Like just about like you've got your own show there. So does Owen. There's what Harrison, right? That's his
Harrison's
name.
got a show. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chase does Sunday Night Live now. So, yeah, and a lot of the crew, I mean, they're so good at production and they're so smart. They're just like, "Nah, I'm in the shadows." And they don't wanna go, but, sometimes, I get them in front of the mic or just, picking their brain. Excuse me. Everybody here is just there. It's crazy how intelligent. I mean, and then having Alex, that's one thing I love about it. It's like having Alex and Owen and Harrison just throwing all the knowledge at you every day. It's kinda hard not to absorb it, even subconsciously. And when you tell the truth, the truth will always prevail. And I think that's where Infowars is going to end up at the end of the day. I don't I had so on Saturday, I was one person who was like, you know what, I could have broken down my studio. I could have took the cameras because the stuff that I have is mine. So I could have just packed everything up and been like, you know what, I'm clearing out just in case I lock the doors. But I have faith. Like I don't think it's gonna be a situation where they're gonna lock us out and you're like, you don't have anything. You can't get anything that's in here. First of all, it's against the law. And second of all, I mean everything that they want is they already know what they want. So I have faith that I honestly, like you said, Infowars will never die. I think that, and I don't, come the 14th. I mean, maybe after we're out of bankruptcy, when we get our case thrown back to the liberal judge, it might be a different story. But I'm not budging until I absolutely have to.
It seems like it was just an intimidation tactic really to pull at, Alex's heartstrings almost like, "Hey, look what we're doing to your guys, your people, your employees, we're shutting the whole." I mean, of course, and to kill the broadcasts would hurt,
Yeah.
everybody's income, but it just seems like, yeah, killing morale is a big part of it.
Yeah, for sure, and getting people, worried. It's that fear tactic, and it's not gonna work here. It's not, and it was kind of cool to see everybody rally up on Saturday. And like I said, I think we were live from 10 a.m. He took like an hour break, I think, and then he came back, and we were live till almost 9 or 10 o'clock.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a moment that we'll definitely cherish, but I don't think it's the end.
So what happens, on the 14th now?
So that's the judge's verdict on whether Alex gets the company back or the Sandy Hook's families want to settle. So if they can't kind of, the judge has already stated he's not going to shut down a successful company. So if and Alex has tried to settle with him, and so if they don't come to a settlement, he's like, all right, Alex is this company's out of bankruptcy, and Alex is back in full control, which sounds great at the end of the day, which is that's what we need is Alex back in control. But at that point, that just kicks that it just kickstarts the prior case that we had, or same case, but it just kicks that back to the judge, the liberal judge in Travis County. And she's, like I said, she was on the red carpet for the review or the premiere of the
Yeah, what was
HBO
she on
show that they were
the red
in.
carpet for?
Well, because they turned that trial into an HBO production. And the guy who produced that movie, he actually produced the hit piece Michael Jackson movie after he died. So, it's just liberals hanging with liberals trying to do what they think is cool. And yeah, so I mean it's all for show. And now that if they give this judge the reins back, she could instantly just order us to be shut down. And at that point, we'd be shut down, but then we got to go through appeals. So let's say I don't know if they're gonna let the company stay open during those appeals. Why would they? They hate us. So it just depends. Let's say we do have to go. Do go through appeals. How long is that going to take? How long is so like 2 weeks is too much for us to shut down. Imagine how long an appeal case is going to take. So yeah, we're kind of just trying to see what happens on the 14th. You know.
Is there anything people can do to help? I don't know. Like,
Well, yeah, right now we don't have like a. I mean, there's always a. You can always donate to Infowars, but I mean, right now I guess it's just really just buying the products. At InfowarsStore.com and Dr. Jones Naturals. That's yeah, share the broadcast, share our links and stuff, and just kind of spread the word on what's going on with Infowars. But we're kind of just in limbo.
you should get the guy, the kid. Well, he's probably an adult now. Remember Short Round from Indiana Jones? He'd be like, Dr. Jones, no time for love. You should get that clip.
That's
He's
a good edit to make too. That's a good idea.
probably old now.
Yeah.
I enjoy the New York Post. I'm gonna bring up their take on this. Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones sobs and screams while claiming feds are trying to shut down Infowars. Okay, I'm gonna play just a little snippet here.
A war cry.
It's a big joke.
It's not really, though. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's also inspiring.
He has a torn larynx.
I wasn't letting go into this, but it's fine. It's my resistance to them. It's a God's transmission. It's a human under attack. We're gonna beat these people.
Is he really
I'm
crying?
trying to be dramatic here, but it's
Yeah, he cried a couple times.
Oh my goodness. He's an Aquarius, isn't he?
February. Yeah.
We're fight. These people hate our children.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but he's like he's kind of hilarious. He's hilarious even when he's crying.
yeah. I mean, he's just coming from the standpoint of everything he's done for 30 years, and if for some reason if he hadn't come back on Friday, everything could have been gone. So yeah, a lot of people call that, like I said, claiming and saying that it's a hoax. There's there's been a few news outlets, and some of them none of them have retracted. Some of them deleted the tweets, and they said, and I'm not gonna name names because it's just gonna give them attention. They're kind of pieces of shit, but it's just how is something that's claiming or a hoax when there's actual court documents for this. So
yeah.
It's just been interesting to see how this gets spun and how it gets shared. But people know. Like, it's not hard when you actually listen to Infowars broadcast to kind of see where Alex is coming from. And I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of people they're just blindly following, typical leftist NPC.
Of all the coverage you've seen of what's going on, what's been the most egregious or what's been the most ridiculous take you've seen?
Just them calling it a hoax, I think. They try to say it was a fundraising hoax.
Oh, like a gimmick or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, like we didn't have if we wanted to raise funds, we would have had a money bomb. We would have been here all night. We would have had a ticker saying donate here. We would have had a different donation page. Like we don't even have a GoFundMe anymore, like because we're not allowed to. So
You're not allowed to?
No, I don't think so. We used to have, Owen used to have one, Alex used to have one, and we haven't because yeah, I mean we had a Give Send Goes. And yeah, GoFundMe canceled us a long time ago. But yeah, we used to have those, and we don't anymore. And I imagine it's just because of all that money that it would be donated, it's going to go to the court. Nothing's going to go to us right now, other than our typical process of selling products and it going to the company and then it getting split from there. But yeah, anything extra, yeah, we don't really get.
Yeah. Jesus. Wow. Now I feel bad for laughing at him crying. Okay, I don't. So, Chrissy has a lot of weight on his shoulders as a human reaction. It's healthy, I
Yeah,
know.
and it's
No.
hard to see, especially when you know Alex, you've hung out with him, you've seen him, and
He's
it's
always
just
so fun.
yeah. So it just it catches you off guard. No worries.
Yeah. Does he ever, you don't have to, like, spill any beans per se, but, like, how close do you feel like he's gotten with the guys that work there? Like, does he ever, like, share personally anything he's going through with you guys or, like, vent to you guys?
Yeah. He comes into the control room or he'll come into our office and he'll just hang out and shoot the shit. And I mean, honestly, everything what you get on air is what we get in the back, outside of the show. He's not really no different. He's keeps it 100 all the time. So, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, it's really no different than what's on air, which I really love about it, just because then everybody has the general idea or has the actual truth of what he really is. And he's not he's just as fun and just as crazy and just as off air and outside than he is.
Have you guys ever been to his house? Like, do you guys hang out outside of work? Happy hours?
We used to there was a restaurant that was around the corner who like loved us, and it was a big Patriot place and it was close. But our Alex's time frame throughout the day is a lot different than us because we have two other shows to work and he just kind of has to worry about his show. But yeah, I mean, there's times when he'll like on Saturdays. This past Saturday, all right, y'all are coming in. I appreciate y'all. I'm buying y'all pizza. I'm buying y'all this. Or after this, let's go. Especially when guests come in, depending on who it is. Like, all right, come on, guys, y'all. So and so's going. We're gonna go here. And I will say, like, so one of the like just so people kind of can understand how Alex really is. I'll share the story, and it's kind of probably one of my favorite moments here because it was just so out of the blue and so random. Where one day it was probably about 8 o'clock, and me and a friend were gonna go grab some dinner. So we're clocking out, and my office is right next door to Alex's office. And I guess we were just being a little loud, and we clocked out. And my friend was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "You ready to go?" He's like, "No, I don't have my wallet." I was like, "Bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, we don't." I asked if you wanted to go eat, and then I asked if you had your wallet. And then Alex, I guess we were being too loud, and he wakes up from a nap. And he's like, "Whoa, who's that? Is that Rob? Is that Sean?" He's like, hold on, come here. And he's still like half asleep. He hadn't even opened his eyes. And we go to his office and he's like, hold on, where's my wallet? And he pulls out $200. He's like, here, dinner's on me tonight. Don't worry about either one of your
Oh my
wallets.
god.
And he's just like, oh man, damn, that couch is too comfortable. I just passed out. He's like, all right, well, enjoy dinner. I'll see y'all later. And then yeah, that was that. Just
That's so sweet.
it was crazy. I was just like, Sean, half of that is mine, right? Like, I was louder than you and just, bullshitting. But yeah, it was and it's just plenty of times like that. Whoever's in, he's like, I'm hungry, and he'll look around, and whoever's around him, are you hungry? You want something? What do you want? Whenever we're on the road, we go out places, he just makes sure that everybody's taken care of. And that's why I will follow Alex into battle wherever, whenever he wants, because the man is what you see is what you get, and it's just a big teddy bear who wants to save the world.
What's his favorite snack?
Oh man, we eat burgers a lot.
A burger's not a
Pete
snack.
Terry's double cheeseburger, extra onions, no tomatoes. uh, um, yeah, we get. It depends on what we kind of go through. Food phases here. Sometimes it'll be pizza, sometimes it'll be burger, sometimes it'll be barbecue. But yeah, Alex, he's just a big kid like us who he just
Yeah.
kind of, wanted to fight the globalists a lot sooner than us.
It is kind of amazing. Yeah, like, I think back to his early like, when he first, I was talking about, God, what is that thing? That, the footage from
Oh, Bohemian
where all the
Grove?
elites go. Yeah, Bohemian Grove. And
Yeah.
that was like, what was it, like 30 years ago? He's been talking about this
Yeah.
stuff for so long. I wonder if he ever just loses patience with humanity. Like, when are people gonna,
Right. Like,
like,
how could you
wake
not
up?
by now? Like, if I
Yeah.
was him, I mean, I don't have any hair. I would have put all my hair out already. I would have been, just, yeah, I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I mean, I do hope things go well for everybody, but like maybe he should take a little bit of like a spa break, like get his blood pressure down. I don't know. Just like go to a yoga retreat. You love to see that. You're at a yoga retreat. You turn around,
Yeah.
Alex Jones is
He
there.
right? And, yeah, we all hope he does. I mean, he does need, some time to himself for sure and some family time. And he's always said, when once the world is kind of awakened, he feels like he's done his job. He can kind of just fade into the wind. And that's what kind of where we almost were at Infowars before all the attacks. And like if you
Wow.
actually think about how much so I got this stat the other day from our YouTube numbers. And every day on YouTube, there was hundreds of millions of hours of Alex Jones and Infowars consumed every day.
Wow.
So imagine without censorship, without, the lawsuits and everything, like we definitely would be a 24-hour news network right now. We would be the biggest news network in the world. And we kind of already are. But I mean, the numbers and everything would have been multiplied by millions, hundreds of millions. So yeah, he really deserves that peace. And whenever he wants to take it, we're here for him and want to kind of make sure, we'd rather him ride out on that horse that way than, you know, the opposite and like, kind of have a heart attack on air or something like that. But
Yeah, nobody wants that.
yeah,
And this
nobody
is
wants that.
although it would be quite a spectacle. He would make it very dramatic.
Yeah, I would take fucking do it live, to a whole other aspect.
People would be like, "Are you just you're really having a heart attack. All right, you're not just being dramatic. Okay, I got it." Let's
Yeah.
go. And you guys really are such a talented crew. I'm always amazed at how much you can get done, like the production level, and then you look in the control room and you're like, "Oh, this was created with this many people." Like there's so few people there
Yeah.
working. I'm amazed at how much you all can get done. It's everyone is so good and so efficient, and it's just like literally zero fat in that crew. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
uh,
Yeah, it's taken us, a year or two to kind of get to that point, but yeah, we I would say without a doubt we are the best crew in media, hands down, and that's why I am concerned for the crew at the same time. It's like I think any and everybody here could bounce back, and I think we will.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.